We are starting off the conversation with innovation of the highest order. Number one, in an effort to reduce noise cancellation, or not noise cancellation, noise reduction work, or in an effort to just reduce noise in general, background noise, I have relocated my rower, which when standing vertical is taller than the door frames, and over it I have draped a blanket, and in addition to that I have used small hanging nails to affix it to the door frame, and then I've had another chair on this side that I've added another blanket to give a makeshift noise blanket, noise sheet over that doorway, which is the closest one to the hallway and to subsequently the fan upstairs. So we'll see how the reduction process goes in post. If it's easier, if I notice a significant downtick in the decibel level of the background noise, we'll see. But that's not the only innovation. I've also been annoyed by this tripod's highest standing level, so in a way of jerry-rigging the height to where it could not cut me off in the head, I put it on a box, a thin box, to give it just a little bit more lift. So it has been a night, an evening of invention, which is not how I meant to segue, but it is how I'm going to segue. Timestamp into what is it for games I got. This is a relatively new purchase. I ordered this before I left for PAX Unplugged, I think. Yes, during a Black Friday or Christmas sale from Pandasaurus. I first was introduced to this. I saw it online a few times, just peeked or, teased by certain people. And then at Gen Con, I had the fabulous opportunity to have it demoed by Danny Lowe, who works for Pandasaurus, and she was sweet enough to take time out of a schedule that I wasn't in and show me the game, which I really appreciated. And it made me that much more excited about it because I am not very good at... It's not that I'm not good at chess. I have not played chess to the point to where I accrued strategy for it. But this has an additional spatial element and additional mechanical elements that excite me more from a gameplay perspective than chess does. So That Time You Killed Me, this is a two-player abstract competitive spatial puzzler that was designed by Peter C. Hayward, who I have already decided, because I'm pretty sure he is the one who helped also write the rule book. I'm pretty sure. I've already decided that if I think that is the case, that he's like my favorite rule book writer, period. Because this was hilarious to read the rules to, and the other components, not all of which I've unlocked or looked at. So I mentioned invention, or in being an inventor earlier, and this is narratively a story or a game about two competing individuals, one of whom is responsible for creating the time machine, which is an invention that the world has benefited and profited from over the years in this universe. And the other person is an imposter who did not invent that, and they're trying to kill each other. And so this is all about murder. That time you killed me. Except the time is relative because it could be the past, the present, or the future. And let's see. The artwork is Jor Ross. And I absolutely love the visual aesthetic of this game. So that is a artist I'm going to keep my eye on and make sure I see what else they do. Yeah, design Peter C. Hayward, published by Pandasaurus, art by Jor Ross, and then two-player game. I think that's a decent synopsis. Timestamp, why I have it. I kind of already touched upon that, but I have this because I have started to extend my tendrils out and try to find some abstract games that I want in my collection. And I say that because I have Santorini, but I really only ordered that because I can play it with my son. It's not typically the depth or strategy level of a game that I would personally pick, and it didn't enthuse me, but I wanted to be able to play it with my son, and I knew it was something he would like, and he has enjoyed it. So that has been a good purchase. But I have this because I want to get other strategy abstract games into my collection. At some point, I'm going to talk about Shobu, which I pointed over there because it was over there, but it's not over there anymore because Kidsplaining is borrowing it. So I don't know why I pointed over there. Because it used to be there. So that's why I have it, is I want strategy games, I want abstract games, and also I thought that this was cunning and thought it was beautiful when I was introduced to it, and I wanted to have it. That's why I have it. When did I get it? Once again, already touched upon this a little bit, but I ordered this in between Gen Con and PAX Unplugged. So in between September and December, pretty much close to November, like the end of November, because it was kind of a Black Friday or holiday sale from Pandasaurus where they had this. I don't know if this was actually on sale, but they had this and some other stuff, and if you spent a certain amount of money, you got a tote bag. So I grabbed this. I grabbed Dinosaur World Rar and Right, which I haven't opened yet, so I'll try to do that on the Open That series. And this was the main one I was searching for. I might at some point track down the Loop, but this is the main one I was interested in. Will it leave? I don't see the need for this to leave anytime soon. This has a base version to it. I'll actually show you the back of it. And maybe this will be enough for you to see it. So it's got a base version which just has the pawns that each player uses. And I like the visual design of them. It looks like kind of larger pawns from chess, but then the top head of it is like fractured, and it has this, would it be a dodecagon? Or dodecahedron? It's essentially, it looks like a 10 or 12-sided dice, but like crammed in there, almost like some time machine or, mind-shattering orb or object inside of the pawn. So that's cool. And that's a strange tangent to jump down. But that's the base version of it. And then it has these 4 chapter boxes that you can unlock, which introduce new elements. I have unlocked the first one and played with the first chapter. The second chapter, I have opened the box up, but I have yet to play with it. And the third box, I know what's in there, but I haven't opened it and really read the rules of it. So I am definitely excited. I've made it halfway through what the game offers technically, but I haven't explored even close to half of the combinations that you can create, because I think you can incorporate multiple chapter boxes in one game if you want to, which introduces additional mechanics and components outside of the base gameplay. So I've played this 3 times now, and I'm excited to jump into it further, check out more of the components from the other chapter boxes, and see what's going on. I definitely am intrigued, and I don't think this is going to leave anytime soon because I haven't even finished exploring what's in the box. And then once that is the case, I think this would be a go-to abstract 2-player game for me. I think Shobu's cool. I think this is so different, though, that I don't really think they would ever overlap. Even though there are some elements of their thought or of the thematic idea of them, there is some overlap. In terms of what you derive from the gameplay, I don't think there is. So I don't see it leaving anytime soon. Would you like it? Do you like abstract games? If you like abstract games, I think you should check this out. If you like crazy mind-melding stuff, that's also something to consider. It may not be your typical choice. Like my sister who I played this with, she does not like chess, but she liked this because it scratches maybe that same itch that chess does in terms of a procedural board strategy moving, trying to layer moves together back to back to back to where you're creating an overarching strategy. But there's so many unique elements that are thrust into that formula and disrupt it based off of those chapter boxes and based off of the nature of those three separate time periods, past, present, and future, that it does so in a novel way that I think most people would be intrigued by. There are definitely, if you do not like abstract games, I don't think you're going to like this, because it is at its core an abstract game. But there is the chance that you could enjoy it even though it's not really maybe initially the kind of game that you would seek out. I think you could still like it. Rating. Oh. Well, I didn't say timestamp. Timestamp. Rating. I think this is a solid 7.5 out of 10 for me, and that is based off few plays. I think this could go up. I think this could be a solid 8 for me. Abstract games are not normally the games that absolutely hit the top of my, ceiling for game ratings. They're not usually the ones that I am pulled to instinctively, or the ones that I am so excited to show my friends. There are certain people that I would show this to over plenty of other games in my collection. But abstract games are not usually the ones that when someone comes to the house, and whether they're a gamer or not, if I'm like, I want to show them a game, an abstract is not typically that game, which means that there is some sort of a glass ceiling that they have for me in terms of game ratings. I can wax on and on about games like Star Wars Rebellion or Forbidden Stars or Twilight Imperium, some of those grand operatic experiences that you have around the table. Those, even though they're messy and they're complicated and they have so many variables that make them difficult to table or frustrating at times, the potential for enjoyment that I derive from them is higher. And so those are the ones that might hit 9s and 10s for me. This is probably going to hit 8, maybe 8.5. It really does depend on how these other chapters weave together and how much I enjoy exploring them and combining them together to create a really satisfying, crunchy spatial puzzler. And I like spatial puzzlers. I will probably specify one thing that has led me to enjoy them more than maybe I would have in the past is actually video games that I have played that are spatial puzzlers. If you like video games and you like puzzle games, The Witness is fantastic. It's from the designer of the guy who did Braid, which is that time-traveling, time warping chrono game with the little character side-scrolling. But The Witness is fantastic. There's a couple other ones that I'm not thinking of right now that I just really enjoy. So Spatial Puzzler has a soft spot in my heart based off of experience I've had in the past with games. So 7.5, could be an 8, or even as much as an 8.5. That's my rating. Timestamp. Thumbnail. Let's see. Maybe I'll just show you the boxes. Maybe that will excite you. I'll show you 1 and 3. And maybe this will tempt you to do it like, ho ho ho. And maybe that'll tempt you to, I gotta figure out how I did this. I wanted the number there, and the number there, and the number there, and the number there. Let me know if are you weird about how stuff goes into boxes and how like patterns plan out or fan out in what you do. Like I'm kind of like a pattern person. I like patterns. I like number sequences, stuff like that. So you know what? Even just a bonus thumbnail. I probably won't use that one, but just in case, just in case I want an extra. Or maybe that was the past, and then that one was the present, and then I have to do one for the future, and it could be like a different one, and it could be like, and maybe that's the future one. Maybe I've got 3 different thumbnails, and I get to pick which one I want based off of the timeline that I am from. Timestamp, lock it away, we're done.